We're into the final weeks of the current Hong Kong racing season, which will finish up in the middle of July. There's still plenty of loose ends still to tie up before we get to the off-season break, but already plans are in place for next season. Here's what we've got coming up on Hong Kong Direct, and we'll be hearing from David Hayes as he prepares to return to Hong Kong to join the training ranks next season. And it's been one of the feel-good stories of this season, the continued rise of Vincent. We'll be hearing from him and the relationship that he has with his mentor, Caspar Fownes. I'm Edward Sadler. It's a pleasure to have your company on the show this week, and it's also great to have David Morgan, the racing rider from the Hong Kong Jockey Club, as our special guest. David, thanks for joining us. It's great to be here. Let's have a look at what we've got coming up and what's going on here in the world of Hong Kong racing. Wednesday night at Happy Valley, Zac Purton rode the first winner, taking his lead in the jockey title to 5. I thought it looked advantage Zac at that stage, but the competition's still well and truly alive, with Moreira then firing in a double.
Yeah, look, we've got 9 race meetings to go, and it's looking like being a cracking 9 meetings. There's nothing between these two guys. They've been phenomenal all season. Zac was able to steal a bit of a march there when Joe was suspended. He's still got the advantage, but Joe's coming back hard, and it's going to be a cracking good battle, this.
It is, definitely. There's so much water to go under the bridge. Currently, Purton holds the lead by 3 wins, 129 to 126, heading into an 11-race card on Sunday. And with the trainers, Ricky Yu, he just seems to keep on holding off the challenges, but there are a number of challenges here coming from Francis Lloyd. Tony Cruz's stable's been in great form, and even John Moore in his last season here is still on the premises as well in this title fight.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Cruz, he had that treble, a week or 2 back, and everyone thought Tony was going to just accelerate into this battle. And he's still there. He's still got a chance. But Ricky just keeps ticking that 1 win that he needs to stay ahead. Francis has had a fantastic season. Ricky, I spoke to him briefly on Wednesday night, and he thinks that he hopes he can hold on, but he's certainly not counting his chickens yet with those guys coming up behind him. Tony Cruz and John Moore, if they can put together maybe 2-3 wins in one meeting, that brings them right back into it.
Definitely, they're 2 of our superstar trainers for a reason in Cruz and also John Moore. John, of course, will be leaving Hong Kong at the end of this season. Joining the ranks is David Hayes, who will arrive in Hong Kong on Friday night as he gets ready to join the training ranks as of next season. Prior to departing Australia, Andrew Jeune caught up with David to discuss his plans for his return to Hong Kong.
David, well, thanks so much for giving us the time this morning. I know you're literally just getting ready to go to the airport. Have you got everything done? Are you ready to leave?
Yes, we're all packed and heading to Hong Kong. Very excited and not really looking forward to the isolation, but a couple of days with my feet up will be nice.
How are the emotions now coming back? Because you're in a pretty unique club, as well as I think the first trainer in the professional era to have a career here in Hong Kong, leave, and then come back again. So what are the emotions, what are the feelings like for the return to Hong Kong?
A lot, really exciting to get another second chance. It really is, if it works in Hong Kong for you, it is Disneyland for a horse trainer. It's very good. And look, when I went there, I was the youngest trainer ever employed. And I think I'm coming back as the oldest ever employed. But I've done the form on some of my stablemate trainers. I'm about midfield in age, so I'm not the oldest overall, but oldest to get a licence.
Of course, the important thing when you're setting up as well is building the team around you, both equine and human. Beauty Generation, you're going to be getting one of the biggest names here in Hong Kong. What are your expectations for him now? And tell us how all that came about. Yeah,
I was just lucky enough to be approached by the Kwok family to train this wonderful horse, and he's a horse that the whole of Australia knows, and obviously an outstanding fella, maybe in the twilight of his career, but he only was beaten an inch in the international race the other day, so it looks like he's got more wins in him, and he's just a terrific horse to have. And I've said to the Kwok family, if I think he's going to struggle and not do his reputation any good, we'll probably retire the horse. But at the moment, I'm planning for the international races, and so are they. So we're looking forward to it.
course, as you say, he might be in the twilight of his career, but you bring across at least one horse in the shape of Master Montaro. He's had a few tongues wagging already on social media. Unbeaten in 2 starts for you so far. Must be pretty excited about bringing him across.
Yeah, look, his maiden win was brilliant. And then he had to run in a benchmark 70 race, which is not easy to do in Australia against the older horses. And he won it like he won his maiden. He came from last and got the town talking. So he's quite exciting, you know, but, you know, he's got a long way to go to be in Class 1 in Hong Kong. But he's a good-looking big horse by the right sire, who I'm looking forward to getting up there.
That's 2 horses then. You've got a whole stable to fill, though. Have you got to give us a scoop on any more horses that you've got heading your way?
There's a dual Group 1 winner coming that Edmund Wu bought called Shadow Hero. He won the Randwick Guineas in the Spring Champion Stakes. Very exciting horse. He's just arrived at Lindsay Park. Came from Mark Newman's yard in outstanding order. He'll be coming up on one of the first shipments. There's another really nice horse for the Kwok family called Talladega. He's undefeated horse from Perth, a listed winner. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. And there's a lot of really nice unraced Class 4 horses that are trial winners that I can hopefully bring through their classes. So I won't be coming unarmed.
What do you think might have changed in the time that you were first here and now returning? Have your training methods changed over the years, or do you think you just be able to slip back into the old routine?
Oh, look, we all, you know, over a 25-year period, there's always subtle changes. But I basically trained the Colin Hayes method, which seemed to work for 50 years. And I know it worked in Hong Kong last time I was there. What I've noticed in Hong Kong, they race more often and for longer now. So the off-season is very short. So I'm thinking that you mightn't have to push them quite as hard early into the season because you've got a lot more space at the end of the season to place them. But I'll work out quietly what's changed when I get here. But I see the tracks are exactly the same, except there's a track in the middle now, and the Olympic stables weren't there. But apart from that, I think it's pretty well the same with a lot more money on offer.
Absolutely. And you mentioned at the start you've got a little bit of a different return. You'll be going into quarantine for the first 2 weeks up at Bees River. There's worse places to spend 2 weeks, but you'll be by yourself, David. Is that going to suit your personality, or are you going to be climbing the walls, or are you just going to sit back and enjoy the R&R? I
think a couple of days will be very nice. I'm a bit worried about the next 12, but the Jockey Club have been kind enough to put a running machine and a bike. So I hopefully won't come out the fattest, oldest trainer anyway. So I'll try and keep in shape a bit, which will be good for me. It's a bit of self-discipline.
I wouldn't be brave enough, Dave, to nominate who is the fattest trainer here in Hong Kong. But in all seriousness, it'll be great to have David Hayes rejoining the training ranks here in Hong Kong. And with Beauty Generation, an established star, and potentially a Derby horse in Shadow Hero, he's already got horses there to be excited about from September onwards.
Yeah, he said that he won't be coming here unarmed. He's certainly got some ammunition there. So, I mean, as we know in Hong Kong, it's can these horses travel in, and you might have the ammunition, but can you prime it? And he's a man coming in who's got the experience already. He knows what it takes to be a winner here, 2-time champion trainer in Hong Kong. So he has an advantage on most new trainers coming in. His record speaks for itself. 2-time champion trainer in Hong Kong, those 458 wins he's had here. Countless big race wins, which you know better than I, in Australia. I know horses like Miss Finland, for example. Jeune, who was a horse that I used to follow as a boy in England. And he took that horse and won a Melbourne Cup with it. He knows what it means, knows what it takes to win big races all around the world. He's won a Japan Cup as well with Better Loosen Up. So this is a guy who's got a top-notch pedigree. The Jockey Club needed that with John Moore departing this season. There's a temptation to talk about replacement, like David Hayes replacing John Moore. And I think that would be the wrong way to look at it. John Moore is leaving, that's the rule. And the Jockey Club needed a real top-notch trainer with an absolute Group 1 pedigree to come in. And luckily for them, they've been able to get him.
They have indeed, and he's got a terrific history already here in Hong Kong, which is well documented. He's won a Hong Kong Derby with elegant fashion going back to last decade. Things have changed since then, though, David. We heard that David Hayes was talking about the season has expanded, but also the arrival of Chung Fa into the racing scene here in Hong Kong, and David will be a part of that from when he gets here.
Yeah, and I think, you know, everyone who's been involved with Chung Fa, the trainers who've had horses there, they're across the board adamant that this is beneficial to them. He has experience of training horses, travelling them distances, having them stabled in different locations. So he'll be well equipped for that, I would think. And it can only be a bonus and a benefit to him to have that Chung Fa option.
Yes, David, one of a few trainers who have been given stables at Chung Fa for the new season. So he's got some good horses. Now he just needs to get here and find the lay of the land and get ready to go for the start of the new season. Yeah,
and he's got to get through that quarantine, which rather him than me, really. But that running machine will keep him fit. I mean, it's interesting he talked about Hong Kong being a trainer's Disneyland. And if that's the case, I don't know who's Mickey Mouse, but he's right. You know, you've got everything set up here beautifully. The Jockey Club looks after the trainers to a large extent. You've got the staff there, you've got the jockeys on side. It's just a fantastic setup for a trainer.
Yes, takes a lot of the harder work from an administration and a business sense out of it, and allows the trainers to really concentrate on looking after their horses to the best of their ability. So we wish David Hayes all the very best. We're all excited about him coming back to train here in Hong Kong. We've got to take a break here on Hong Kong Direct. Plenty more on the other side of this, though. Don't go anywhere. We'll be looking ahead to what's coming up this weekend and also hearing more from leading local rider Vincent Ho. Welcome back. You're watching Hong Kong Direct. David Morgan is our special guest on the show this week. We'll have more from him in a moment. But it's awards season here in Hong Kong as we count down towards the end of the season. And on Sunday, the voting will open for this season's most popular jockey. And one jockey who's sure to attract plenty of votes is Vincent Ho, who continues to go from strength to strength. Let's learn a little bit more about him and the relationship that he has with his longtime mentor, Caspar Fownes.
Well, looking at my hair, I can't believe it. I still look young. But yeah, I mean, 10 years has gone by. Seriously, it's gone by really quick. And he's just blossomed into he was always a very competent rider, and now he's a great rider. I'm quite a hard taskmaster when they're working for me in my yard. And Vincent, he was very good from the word go. Whatever work we asked of him.
That looks easy. I looked really skinny then. My cardio was good. I wasn't strong. I've improved a lot now, so.
Absolutely.
Great battle coming up here. It's Lucky 9 and Noble Choice, stride for stride. Lucky 9, there's 2 in a row for Vincent Ho.
Lucky 9, obviously a superstar, 7 Group 1s in Hong Kong for me. Best horse I've trained here. You know, Vinny rode 3 rides for him for 3 wins. He's probably wondering why he didn't get some more opportunities back then. But I said, we'll just keep it at 100%. That record looks good.
I remembered I got yelled at a Happy Valley one time when I pulled up. It was, you know, with a lot of language. What's that? Colourful. Beep, 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 right? You actually apologize the next morning.
There you go.
It's a summer hot day and you're sweating.
Oh, so hot.
So someone, you know, took that photo and I just said, when your boss is so disappointed at you, you got no, you know, he doesn't even want to see you. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. One thing I'll say about Vincent is he's always been very humble and had a great way about him, and success has not changed that, which is a wonderful thing in this game.
Caspar, of course, is my mentor and he's like my second dad in my life. That's how important he is. Without him, I won't be here today.
It's been a feel-good story, the continued rise to prominence of Vincent Ho. David, he's having his best season ever, winning the Derby and all 3 legs of the 4-year-old series on Golden 60. But the real icing on the cake this season was that Group 1 win for Caspar Fownes, of course, on the old warhorse, Southern Legend and the Champions Mile.
Yeah, it was. Vincent, his ambition has always been to reach the top. And so with Golden 60 and then that Group 1's what he's always wanted. He's got that, now he can kick on, and you would expect him to ride more. He's developed in the time I've been here. I got here in 2011. He was champion apprentice that previous season. You just see him develop the strength, the tactical awareness. He's become the all-round very good jockey. He's among that elite that we've got here now.
He is indeed, and it's interesting when you talk to him about who his mentors and who his idols are. One of those is Ryan Moore, and you can see that influence in that Vincent's that quiet, unassuming, fly below the radar sort of quiet achiever, isn't he?
He is, and I think that's going back a few years. Vincent was just ticking along doing what he was doing. The spotlight wasn't on him, and he came along. And just gradually he developed. He was going away each summer. He was developing in France. Then he went to England the last couple of years. He's developed there. And he just quietly went about his business, learning, watching the other jockeys, watching the best, building up his strength, building up his conditioning. And he's done it in a way that was, as you say, unassuming. And then in the last couple of seasons, he's kind of sprung forward. He's taken that step forward. Each season he's got better, to the point where you're going, hang on a minute, this kid's improved, and now he's the real deal.
He's ridden 59 winners for this season, so he will be crowned the Tony Cruz Award winner for the 2nd straight season. He came here as apprentice to Caspar Fownes after doing his training in New Zealand, and that relationship has really stuck strong, David, right through to the current stage of his career as a leading senior rider. Yeah,
it has, and Caspar's always been a great supporter of his. He's always been adamant that he had what it takes to reach the top. It's interesting, I was speaking to Zach Purton a couple of months back, just reflecting on the way Caspar and Vincent were interacting in that video. And Zach said Caspar can sometimes be very daunting to ride for, that he demands a lot and puts a lot of pressure on. And he was saying that he thinks that has really helped Vincent. Having that pressure from Caspar Fownes, a man who he really respects and who is one of the best trainers in Hong Kong. He's done it at the top. And having that pressure on him, but learning under that pressure, he's taken it, and he's a very cool rider. You look at his Classic Cup win on Golden 60, where he just sat tight, he didn't panic, and he produced him perfectly at the right time. You look at the Derby win, where you've got Playa del Puente charging off in front. Vincent didn't panic, he waited, he knew what he had, and he got there and he won the race.
He did indeed. It was a thrilling derby and one of the highlights of Vincent's career. He's got 6 rides on Sunday coming up at Sha Tin on an 11-race card. It's a bit of a deviation from the usual schedule this week because we won't have midweek racing through the week. We'll be racing instead at Sha Tin next Sunday, a rare week off with our simulcasts of Royal Ascot. But then next week at Sha Tin, we've got the final 2 group races for the season. Just touching on Sunday's program though, Dave, 11 races. We start off with a Griffin event. We've also got a couple of Class 2s, some dirt racing, a bit of everything. What are you most looking forward to about Sunday's card?
Well, we've got those 2 Class 2 races, like you say. The first one, we've got that 1600 metre race, Nikoni Express, coming out after a break for John Size and Joe Moreira. You got Zach Purton on Right Choice, who's found his form again. Ran a couple of good seconds. Lakeshore Eagle going for a hat-trick. That's a pretty solid race. And then the other one over the 1200 metres on the dirt, Gunnison again, Joe Moreira, John Size. That horse has been knocking on the door. Ricky Hughes got Encore Boy in there. He'll be looking for another win to just keep ticking along. Zach rides for John Moore, Magic Legend, Fantasy, Willpower at the bottom for Douglas White, and Ugly Warrior at the top. Can he bounce back? He's coming in off a break. So there's plenty of interest there and interest across the card, particularly with that championship battle with the jockeys. It's going to be fascinating to see how that plays out.
Yes, three meetings, 3 wins between them with 9 meetings left to go. Neither of them seem overly keen when you speak to them in public, Dave, about who is going to win. They're both playing their chances down. Yeah, they are. They're being coy. They don't want to get wrapped up in the hype. They don't want to make a statement that might make them look silly, I think. That's all I can assume. They're being very grounded about it. Look, one thing they've both stressed is, yes, there's this rivalry. Yes, they're both intense competitors and they both want to win it, but there's nothing personal in it. It's all about proving you're the best jockey this season under these circumstances. And they've gone about this whole season very sportingly with that intensity. Both really want to win. And you've got to respect both men. As jockeys, they're both outstanding. They're clearly the best 2 jockeys here. They've proven it over the last few years, and they're outstanding. Whoever wins this title is going to be deserving of it. And there's no disgrace in finishing second. No, definitely not. They'll both be claiming their 4th title, whoever takes it out, and that's something that's definitely worth tuning in for on Sunday and over the remaining weeks left of the season as to who takes out this epic battle between 2 superstar jockeys. Dave, thanks very much for your time. We'll see you at the races at Sha Tin on the weekend. Thank you. And thanks for your company as well too on this week's edition of Hong Kong Direct. We look forward to your company at Sha Tin over the weekend. Our first event is due off at 12:30, but continuing on with the Caspar Fownes Vincent Ho theme, we're going to leave you this week by looking back at their biggest moment together. It was only a few weeks ago when Southern Legend won the Champions Mile in an epic battle against the champion, Beauty Generation.
Thinking big third from Southern Legend, Fat Turtle, White Cuckoo. Then came Rattan. Beauty Generation has hit the lead. Southern Legend's gone after him to second. 2 lengths away, Rattan. It's Beauty Generation. He has to fight here, the champ. Southern Legend's gone with him and made the lead. Then White Cuckoo. Southern Legend's ahead in front. Beauty Generation's coming again. Southern Legend, Beauty Generation. Maybe Southern Legend got the head down. Southern Legend might have won the championship.